Well, we are, let me tell you, just a little bit. Hey, fabulous Friday, the day after Turkey Day. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, David?
Yeah, we did. We did.
All your family get together?
No, we were missing three. Um, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
we decided it's hard for us to plan family gatherings for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we decided to meet in the middle at Roseburg, and we ate at a place called the Parrot House. Food was very good. Service was excellent. Very nice place. It's an old. Uh, God, I should really know the architectural design.
Victorian.
Is it Victorian? Okay, Karen says it's Victorian. Victorian home converted into a restaurant, so it was good.
Well, good, good. It's
How about you?
Thanksgiving should be a day of relaxing with the kids. Yes, there's work with the cooking or not. Well, we went over to my niece and nephew's house in Enterprise
Oh,
and
nice,
had a nice day with family and some friends. And yeah, nice day.
nice.
Beautiful over there. It was beautiful.
Beautiful day today in Southern Oregon. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the state, but it was one sunny and dry.
Well, it was foggy this morning and then it cleared this afternoon, and I expect it to be clearing up. Although at this time of year, when we get high pressure moving in, that means fog for us. But you
Oh,
don't
really?
have to go too far up the mountain. Yeah, up too far up the mountain to get out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so don't eat the
Hey,
applesauce.
don't eat the applesauce. In fact, I'm going to post this story. I was looking through the Epic Times and ran across looking for, what are we going to talk about today? And I ran across this. I had no idea that lead contaminated fruit pouches poisoned like 52 kids in 25 states. And it's lead poisoning. So it takes a lot, and
I wonder how that gets into
in fact, quite,
applesauce.
pardon?
I wonder how lead gets into applesauce.
I don't know. And this applesauce has cinnamon. It's a cinnamon fruit puree, and it's like Wanabana is the brand. And they're actually manufactured in Ecuador and sold under Wanabana brands.
Mm.
And this first started, it was children predominantly ages of 1 and up to 4 years old, and they had found this issue at the end of October. And then on November 9th, they included 2 other brands, Schnucks and Weiss brand cinnamon applesauce pouches.
Wow.
And the FDA said it's working with Dollar Tree to remove the recalled Wanabana pouches from shelves in several states. And, I hadn't heard anything about this, not on the radio or the news or anything like this. And I just thought it's good for us to cover it because maybe nobody even knows about this. And in fact, in a picture, I saw an adult, was squeezing this pouch, and it has a little screw lid on it, and getting the contents out. So be careful about that stuff.
Yeah. Don't buy processed food.
No, it's best if you don't. It's definitely best if you don't. And there is no safe level of lead exposure, none. But they're saying that the agency referenced a value of 3.5 micrograms per deciliter to identify children with higher blood levels that have higher than 95% of American children in the U.S. And what they found was this was 4 to 29. These children had 4 to 29 micrograms per deciliter.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, it affects your nervous system and nausea, vomiting. You've got a sick kid, and we're not meant to eat lead. Remember, like you and me, don't chew on your pencil, right? We had used those number 2 pencils.
That's graphite.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that is graphite.
Yeah.
No, why
Well,
I
when we
associated.
were kids, we were told not to peel the paint off the walls and eat it.
I was never told that. My brothers might have been, but I was never told that.
Don't eat the paint, and don't buy your fruit in a pouch. Go buy Nicholas's applesauce. About 400 pounds of apples makes a lot of applesauce.
Well, I'll tell you what, and nothing better than homemade applesauce. It is so good. I make applesauce. I didn't make any this year because I have lots from last year, but I made bunch last year.
I remember I'm an electrician, and I remember 20 years ago there was some warning about uh, putting wire nuts, the wire nut connectors that you use to connect wires, in your mouth.
Mhm.
Some sort of, maybe it was lead. I don't know what it was, but it didn't affect
But
me.
they have
It didn't.
plastic on the outside. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not like you're sucking on the inside.
it
You're
didn't.
putting that.
It didn't affect me because I never.
Are you sure?
Well, I never put wire nuts in my mouth.
Okay.
When I was a painter, I carried masking tape in my mouth. But I don't put I don't put wire or anything in my mouth. So I don't use my mouth when I do electrical work. I only use it when I do painting.
Okay. Okay. Well, speaking of you being an electrician, there is a job, or not a job, but a story about the Texas green energy dream is risking its electric grid. And we've talked about this type of stuff here on Captive Audience. You and I have, I'm sure all of us have talked, about the green energy push. Well, Texas is seriously in trouble because they are experiencing such high growth, high energy demand, but high growth. Their growth is like 14% in 2019. Their demand for energy that's a lot, and it's grown even more with all the people that have been moving down there and the new businesses that are coming in.
Well, I'm not sure why they have a problem down there. They got plenty of natural gas, plenty of oil. But
They do, but it's hard to compete when in this article they're talking about the subsidies that the so-called green energies get
yeah,
that makes it very difficult for your um, natural gas, other energies producers to compete with.
real energy.
Actually, it's yes, I would say real energy. I would agree with that statement, but most importantly, it is dependable energy.
Yeah, it is.
It's dependable, and I think that's what we all want is dependable energy. In fact, it goes on to state that in this article that Texas is thinking about doing their this shedding so that you're going to have blackouts, and it actually references the problems that they're having in South Africa, energy problems in South Africa. They've got so many energy issues over there, and here you have Texas is going, we're not any better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a grift with serious consequences, and that's what we keep talking about on this show: is the serious consequences of going to unreliable electrical generation while forcing people to use electricity for everything. And
Yeah.
I think it's. I mean, it doesn't, since it doesn't make any sense. You have to ask, why are they doing it? So, and the answer to that question is either money and or control. And if you do electric everything, it's real easy to turn you off whenever they want.
Definitely. Definitely. It is. Hey, switching gears, there is another story that has to do with Pfizer. I just posted it. And Pfizer sues Poland because it doesn't want to buy more COVID-19 vaccines.
Were they contractually obligated to buy a certain amount?
They are contractually obligated to buy a certain amount, and Poland says, just scratch that contract. We're not doing it. And they were supposed to buy 60 million doses.
And they didn't apparently, or are not going
and they did not,
to.
and they were supposed to pay. So Pfizer is actually filed suit earlier this week, demanding the Polish government to pay roughly $1.5 billion, and Poland says, no, we're not going to. We're not going to do that, and I'm just good for them. That's what
That
I
is good
think.
for them. Yeah, they're also one of the few countries in Europe that have closed borders.
Yes, but with the recent election results in Europe, I think you're gonna hear more about that because there's been a lot of positive results.
Oh, do tell.
Well, you haven't been so like in was it the Netherlands? And there was the fellow Mealy, who was just elected.
Well, I know about Malay in Argentina.
Yeah, so that's in Argentina.
That was
Who's the
probably
other
that was
guy?
probably the, that's probably the that was probably the most excited I've been about an election in a long time.
Boy, no kidding. I was too.
Yeah.
But there is some others that there's the tides are turning. I'm sorry, I just can't pull their names up.
Mm.
But I know that there have been some taking back move in the right direction. I'll put it that way.
Well, I know that people in Ireland are fed up with it, and they're starting to burn down the places that government is housing illegal aliens in, or immigrants, whatever you want
Yes.
to call them, aliens.
Yes, I heard a little about that, and after was it somebody had went on a stabbing spree
Yeah,
and stabbed 5 people, and the people just said, we're done with
yeah,
this.
yeah. I saw a video of a woman, an Irish woman, and she said that she referred to herself as white people, because the immigrants are not white, and
Right.
she says we're very tolerant, and we've been very tolerant, and she said, but when our tolerance runs out, we don't just deport you. She says white people decimate entire continents. Okay, this is how we go to war. She went on like that. I was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, lady.
Well,
I'm
you
sure
know what?
somebody probably thought it was racist as hell because you can't say white people.
Of course, we're the ones that we're not supposed to be for us, right?
She says when
Blacks can have a black caucus and a black everything, but the whites aren't supposed to have any of that.
Yeah, she said when the something to the effect, when the Anglo-Saxons finally lose their tolerance and had enough of this, we're going to wipe you off the face of the earth.
Oh,
It's like,
wow. Wow.
that's telling it like it is, lady. And, in a lot of ways, she's correct. Uh, you know,
Well, when you have people that are being brought into a country, they have no desire to assimilate whatsoever. They probably don't speak the language. Their customs and culture are so very, very different. And and in fact, what is amazing with what's going on over, excuse me, in Israel right now and Gaza, you have everybody over there close the border and says, no, you're not putting any immigrants over here. No refugees are leaving that and going into any of the other countries because they know that people are not going to assimilate, quite frankly, and they're going to be a problem.
yeah, nobody wants them.
And it's what's happening in our own country as well, because there still are many nations in the world that the people do not have a sense of human value. They don't value human life as we do, and people are disposable, and they will kill you for very little reason.
Yeah, yeah. If you import people from third world countries, you will turn into a third world country because that's what they bring with them. Um,
We're kind of doing that without that, though, David. We're
well, we are, yeah,
looking at what's going on politically and through our court systems and all of that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and we've got people from all over the world that are just coming right over the border, you know, um, without any sort of documentations, paperwork, whatever. And it's just pisses me off. It shouldn't be happening at all.
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And as Nicholas points out, white people are by far the smallest minority on the face of the earth, by a long ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I found a couple of stories. We talk, we're here in Oregon, and there is businesses in Portland are not doing well. Well, LaRogue Brothers Jewelry Store is closing after 113 years.
Really?
Yes, they have
LaRogue has been there forever.
Okay, yeah, 113 years, LaRogue. There you go. I've never been there. And they've got a couple of stores, and this is really, really a shame. They've not given any reason, but they are going out of business. They're shuttering the doors, and it's a real shame. That's a family business.
Yeah.
They have a store in Clackamas.
Yep. Yeah.
And Tigard.
Yep. It sounds like Jared and our friend in the diamond business are going to be the only people left. All the small shops are gone. I'm not sure what I forget what the big one is downtown Portland. I've been there, but I don't remember. But yeah, it's well, I mean, the whole, Portland's just no place to do business anymore, right?
No, who wants to go shopping down there?
I don't want to go
downtown
for nothing.
Grabs.
I don't want to go downtown for nothing. My accountant used to be down there, and I don't use him anymore because I don't want to go to his office.
And in fact, another story that was in Oregon Live said that Portland national retailers face uncertainty this holiday shopping season. Well, yeah, look at the economy, but also look at your location, especially if you're in Portland. I mean, but the economy, people are not, they don't have so much disposable income. They don't. And
no, how can you when when groceries are $60 a bag?
Even Walmart executives said they expect shoppers to be more cautious with their spending during the busiest selling period of the year. And so we'll have to see, how that comes out. But speaking of money, where's the money going? 1.3 billion in new homeless programs yielded 22% more homeless.
So it's working.
Oh, yeah, right? You think?
Yeah. Obviously, all it needs is just more money. I mean, if you can get get 22% more homeless people for only $1.2 billion, think what you can do for 2.4 or 3.6 or 4.8, somewhere around 5.6 billion, and everyone should be homeless.
Well, the sad part is that's awful. But the sad part is Oregon yielded 22% more homeless, where nationally it's 0.3%.
Say that again?
Growth of homelessness nationwide.
So nationwide homeless rate across all cities and states is 0.3% of the people are homeless. And what is it in Portland?
Up 22%.
It's up 22, but what is it overall?
Well, that part I don't know. This is just what the little headline here is. It's Oregon's up 22%, and nationwide the homelessness is increasing.
Oh, it's up
0.3.
It's up 0.3%.
It's up 22%, and nationwide it's up 0.3%.
So obviously the nation is not spending enough money on the homeless people because they're not getting an increase in homeless. Because I'm pretty
exactly, but Oregon's throwing lots of money at it.
Yeah. Well, maybe
that's why we got more. Plus the drugs.
Maybe more people will just come here and be homeless. I mean, we still have plenty of streets left.
Oh God.
Well, maybe plenty. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Every time I drive through Portland, I'm amazed at the encampments in residential neighborhoods, and
It's awful.
Oh man, yeah, it's yeah.
And then you have over in Brookings, you have the city of Brookings trying to shut down a church from helping the homeless. And it got so bad, the DOJ, our federal government, intervened in a federal lawsuit filed by the church. And, they're saying, no, there's protections here to that for churches to be able to operate and not worry about the ordinances of the community and all that. And it's unfortunate that St. Timothy's Episcopal Church in the South Coast community of Brookings, Oregon, it's been serving food to those in need for decades. And the city of Brookings decided, we're going to restrict you. You're doing so much of this. There was complaints that, oh, you're just a restaurant now. And so their city leaders thought it wise that we're going to now try to restrict you, what your hours are that you can actually help feed the homeless. And
Are there that
this
many
is,
Democrats in Brookings?
I don't know, but in the leadership, it sounds like they are.
Mm.
I don't know about that, but because it's the city council who was bringing all of this up. And so they changed some zoning in their city code, trying to actually impose these hours of operation on the church for helping the homeless or face a $750 a day fine.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the church
Government
sues
overreach.
Brookings for restricting their homeless meal services. And now the DOJ has stepped in and filing on behalf of the church. And here's one that I think, frankly, go, okay, you know what? I'm with that lawsuit.
Yeah.
That the federal government come down and go, oh no, sorry, you guys are city, you're just overstepping your bounds. We have, our rules against that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's enforcing federal civil rights laws and to ensure that all religious groups can freely exercise their religious beliefs.
Right.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
Whether you agree with the religion or not, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Sounds like
Yeah.
government overreach to me. I mean, I'm not a big fan of land use and planning and all of that anyhow.
So, here's the church trying to do what they need to do to help with this increase in flux of homeless people in the community. And the community's going, oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. Well, maybe they're trying to drive out the homeless, build it and they will come, we'll shut it down and maybe they'll leave. I don't know.
It could be that, or it could be the city, is trying to get money for the homeless, and if they have competition, then they probably get less money. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details there. Brookings is not too far from me as the drone flies, although it takes a while to get there because there's no road from where I live to there without going across the city. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if I think we've seen that. I think we've seen this in Multnomah County, and it might very well be what happened to Kevin Dahlgren. Is that the homeless services, the governmental homeless services, the NGOs, which are funded by the government, they don't want competition. They want all of that $1.2 billion, whatever it is. So maybe that could be part of it. I don't know. All depends on how how it was. Whether somebody went to City Hall or City Hall said, "Hell, we're filling out these grants for homeless people, and it seems like we have services in here, we get less money." So I don't know.
I don't know, but it's been long-standing that religious organizations, churches, and religious organizations have helped the needy all over the world. They've done that. That has And so, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it's pissing off the nonprofits
yeah,
that are over in Brookings going, no, no, we're not getting our share
yeah,
here.
yeah.
You
But
know,
it wouldn't surprise
we
me
don't
if that's.
know.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's where it started. Government itself wants dependence. That's why it's so. That's why we have this welfare state that we live in with all these checks written to people,
Oh,
and
yeah.
even people on our side, are they you shouldn't. Nobody should be on welfare. You should work, but don't touch my. And then they insert their government benefit here. Uh, you know, it's like, well,
Yeah.
if you don't, if I heard somebody say one time, if you don't want to be a socialist nation, you should start getting rid of your socialist programs. And we have some big ones.
Well, we do. We do have some big ones. And, I have to say, it's amazing. President Clinton was the person who got the most people off of welfare. That was one thing he did. He said, nope, you got it. We're going to give you a 2 year. If you're on it right now, you're going to get 2 years to get educated into doing something else. And then you're out of here. This is not a way of life. And I was like, wow, there's a Democrat that actually did that. I was
Hey,
very
he
surprised.
was the last president to have, I think, 2 years with no deficit spending.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was 60 or 70 years before him, and there's never been a president after him that hasn't ran up the national debt like it's going out of style.
Wow.
Yeah,
I remember too when he was, I mean, that's a lot. And I had no idea. And yet he did some bad stuff. We got NAFTA from him,
we got NAFTA
North
from him.
America.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that was a bad, bad deal. And I remember when he was president, Hillary was pushing national health care,
yeah,
you know. So that didn't come in until Obama, but I know she was pushing it. Speaking of the Democrats,
and was not repealed by the Republicans. But
no, you're absolutely right, and was not. They promised to, and it wasn't. I got something in the mail today that actually surprised me. I got a letter from the Biden Victory Fund. And I went, oh, wow, this is a first. I've never gotten a Democrat wanting money from me. But, so I don't know how
well,
I
you're
got
a
on there.
woman, Sonny. You must vote Democrat, right?
So they're now asking Republicans to donate to them. They've just gone all out. We're going to send a letter to everybody in America. I don't know.
That's funny.
But what surprised me at the bottom of this, I get a lot of, probably you do too, a lot of donor things, please donate, blah, blah, different organizations. This one, of course, is paid for by the Biden Victory Fund. It's a joint fundraising committee with the Democrat National Committee and the state Democrat parties in all 50 states plus DC. So that actually means when they're doing joint fundraising, you can give a boatload of money and they will divvy it up through the different organizations.
Right.
And so after I got this letter, I went, maybe I better check to see if I've given to them and I don't know it. After watching, I've seen a few videos.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about. People, all those hundreds of small donations, and they
Yes,
go to the lady's house, and she goes, "I didn't do that."
exactly. And so when I got this today, I go, I think I better look up my name and see if I have donated to them unknowingly,
Mm.
and kind of monitor my own. And quite frankly, everybody ought to, because I can't believe I can't think of the name of the guy who did that.
James O'Keefe, I think, busted it.
James O'Keefe. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, he's the one who did that, and it's quite enlightening.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's total fraud, and of course,
It is.
politics is full of fraud and corruption and lying and stealing and thieving and killing, and well, they call it suiciding, but yeah, I never really thought
I think mostly a lot of the Clintons' friends have suicided, right?
that seems to be a trend. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. People that know the Clintons kill themselves often, apparently.
Yeah. That's what it appears to be.
Yeah,
Hey,
like Jeffrey Epstein.
right? This is, how come we haven't got his book? Why don't we have the little black book of Epstein?
I would ask a
Yes.
Clinton. That's what I would do.
Right, right.
You know.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of people in there that are going, oh no, don't ever release that.
Now, it was pretty clear to me.
I think we would recognize a lot of names in his book.
Pretty clear to me that he was, running an extortion operation, just bold-faced, out in the open extortion organization. You know.
But maybe not just extortion, but he was providing a lot of fun, it sounded like.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it wasn't all just extortion, but it definitely weighs on you when you have participated in some of the fun he provided.
Yeah.
He and Maxwell.
Yep. Yeah, and as I understand it, Bill made a few trips to his island, many actually, I believe. Don't know about Hillary, but
Yes, and yeah, and Bill Gates and Bill Clinton, a few Bills, I bet.
well, we don't know now. Well, I guess we know from flight logs. That's all we know is flight
Right,
logs.
that's the only thing we
We
know
don't
is
have we
some
don't have the
stuff, a
client.
little bit.
We don't have the client list because it wasn't just his island. He had that place in New York, and he had a place in New Mexico, and he had a place I think in Paris and probably London. So he was running a pretty big operation. But one of the most interesting things about that, and it got swept under the rug fairly quickly, is that nobody could figure out exactly where his money came from, and he had a lot of it. He had a lot of it. He had $500 million was his estate when he suicided himself. Uh, and
Yeah.
we know, if you look, I read a couple deep digs on it, and the first time he got a hold of any money was from Wexner. Wexner owns the Limited Brands. He's a billionaire, and somehow, for some reason, he signed over his 20, 30, 40, $50 million Manhattan apartment to Epstein.
Wow.
Inexplicably.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Epstein was.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
There's
There's
some
a
reason for that.
reason for
There is
that.
some
Yeah,
reason.
people just don't gift that kind of money
No, no. I mean, he was a
without
billionaire, and
without
I
a reason.
suppose he could afford to give away a $30 or $40 million piece of property, but that doesn't happen. I mean, people just don't do that for no reason. Either get something out of it, or they want to cover something up. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that apparently will never be told there, I guess. I mean, I don't. It's too big, is what it is. It reminds me of a conversation I had with a political consultant in the state of Oregon when I was running to primarying a sitting Republican, a very popular sitting Republican. And we were talking about things to bring up. And the one thing I brought up was, I suggested that we bring this up, is what did the Oregon Republicans in the House and the Senate get in exchange for their votes on all of this Obamacare legislation that needed to be passed in order to comply with Obamacare? And that guy looked at me and he goes, we can't talk about that. That's too big.
Yeah. I'll tell you, in the few years, I don't doubt that, David, because in the few years that I've been involved politically, paying attention to the politics and being involved with the Republican Party, I've seen things pass, and then all kinds of money comes to all the districts. And it doesn't pass just because of the Democrats, it's because the Republicans help too.
Yeah.
And there are key people, but it's that are helping that along. But frankly, the majority of them are. Oh, I got to bring the money to my district, and I just keep saying, at what cost? At what cost to the citizens of Oregon, and what cost to environmentally to the state? Whatever the issue is, and I'm not surprised by any of that. I used to be quite surprised by it, but today I'm not surprised. But I still find it very um, appalling, because it's selling out. Is selling your soul for the vote of that,
Yeah.
and you're selling out your state or your city, your county, and in some cases, even the nation,
Yeah. You're
for
selling out the.
that promotion so that you feel good and you feel
Yep.
liked by
Yep.
others, right?
Yeah.
Instead of standing up and doing the right thing.
Yeah, and there's money that goes into their bank accounts too. I know of a few legislators regarding this thing where they're passing all of this Obamacare related legislation,
Hmm.
whose wife got a cushy job at a CCO, which was established by this legislation. So
Hmm.
they're not only selling out the public trust, not only selling out the trust of the voters, the people that elected them, but they were padding their own pockets. And in this
Yeah.
particular instance, there was an Oregonian reporter who asked the same question. She thought, well, Republicans are against all this Obamacare crap. Why are they voting for it? And she
Right.
started looking into it. I think it was a woman. She started looking into it, and the Oregonian got a call from the governor's office and said, stop looking into this. And that happens every day, by the way, everybody. And my camera disconnected. That's weird. Anyway, do you still hear my audio?
Yes.
Okay, that's weird. Anyways, so the Oregonian gets the call from the governor's office. And next thing you know, that reporter's looking for a job. Fired her.
Oh, wow.
So the
Wow.
story was never written. No one
Yeah.
ever got to the bottom of it. And I know who the players are. And I know that one of them, who's no longer in the legislature but still in politics, I have a pretty good feeling somewhere along the line feathered their nest. Let's see if I can
Yeah.
get my camera back on here.
There's very few that actually have are there doing what's best for the area or the state. It seems to me they have their own special interests. That was one of the things I really appreciated. I've brought you back in. I don't know if your audio is still there or not, but
I
okay.
yeah,
Well,
I put
your
my audio.
camera's not on, but I got audio, so we're good. We're on
I
the
just
track.
got a thing across the thing that said front camera disconnected. So I don't know. I'm looking for something to click on, and I can't find nothing.
Okay. I don't know about that part. So, and you know what? Don and I had an issue. He froze up. I could still hear him, and he froze up. And so he and I go, no, I still see you and you're and whatnot, but I got your audio, but you're here. But it was just weird. But everything in the show ended up being fine. But in your case, you are froze. Your face doesn't look too bad. So it's not one of those real funny ones that it could be,
I collect those,
You
I
what?
collect those.
Oh, do
Yeah,
you?
the funny frozen. I've been collecting them ever since COVID. Ever since we all went to Zoom, I
Uh-huh.
just thought they were
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I have
So,
one of you
well,
that's pretty funny.
okay. I don't collect those. I don't collect any of them. I'm not a collector.
It says here that my front camera is the one. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll finish in the dark.
Okay, well, we still see your face and we're still hearing you. And you have sounds like you've got some goods there, David. Oh boy, too big to share, or you something might happen. Who knows? Not don't know that, but
Yeah,
we wouldn't want anything to.
there was a time when I really wanted to dig into it, and because I just thought it was the right thing to do. But
Right.
you know what? I don't know that it would make any difference for the effort that I would put into it.
Yeah, and you do, and you have to weigh that. What's the cost, personally and business wise, personal wise, and all of that. And what I found is
Hmm.
now he's disappeared altogether. He's actually
Yeah, I clicked my camera button.
okay. Well, I still hear you. Um, but unfortunately some of this is, well, not some of this is what happens, and it happens all over. So I was going to go into this on this discussion, so I might as well just go ahead. I saw this on PJ Media. It says, okay, why is Nikki Haley still in the Republican race?
Money.
And it is about the money, because she has apparently, Vivek Ramaswamy has run an ad now, but she had actually herself last week a monumental blunder regarding social media privacy. She said, "Oh no, we need to, monitor everybody. We need to censor people here." So and that was like, whoa. Well, apparently this ad is clips of Haley's own voice of the candidate praising Hillary Clinton and honoring her as the reason she got into politics. And it concludes with a nail on the chalkboard soundbite of Clinton's infamous hyena-like cackle. And I'll tell you, and he goes on to say, why any Republican even 20 years ago would have thought that sucking up to Hillary Clinton of all people was a solid political move is beyond me. So, she is apparently in the Hillary Clinton fan club.
Wow.
And I do know, because I've heard her speak personally to a group, RNC members, in fact.
Yeah, I was
And
there.
yes,
Yeah.
and she is a Trump hater. She was dishing Trump at that meeting, and she didn't get a standing ovation. There was about a quarter of the people clapped for her, and the rest of the room was silent.
Yeah, that was pretty
So
cool.
I'll tell you, Nikki
I remember
Haley
it
is an
vividly.
absolute, yeah, me too. She's an absolute non-starter. And so when I saw that, I go, yeah, we just have to bring that to light. So is she in the Hillary Clinton fan club? I don't know, but good on Vivek for bringing that one out.
Yeah, that's not a very good look for a primary race for sure.
No,
I mean,
no,
maybe
no,
it
it
would
is.
work in a general. I don't know, but yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think anybody wins by hitching their cart to her.
I don't think so. I don't think so, but they'll win money. And you hit the nail on the
Yeah.
head. She's in it for the
Oh
money,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Notoriety, book deal, all the crap.
or maybe a position, because the Democrat, she ought to just run under a Democrat title, and maybe she'll get a position in the Democrat Party. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So, did you hear about? There's a group in Oregon now that is pressing the Oregon Secretary of State to keep Trump off the ballot. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that one.
Well, I've got that headline, and this was on Tuesday. This came out, and the group is Free Speech for People,
Is it
and they had free.
is it the Baker County Republican Party and the Washington County Republican Party?
I don't know if they belong to that group, but let me tell you, that could be a possibility, because those two counties do not want Trump. Their leadership, I'll say, not the counties, the leadership. Oh my gosh. So this free speech for people first contacted Secretary of State Griffin Vlad in July, and less than 2 weeks into her term. And so several states, as you know, Colorado, Michigan, and Minnesota have all been trying this, and they've all lost. And you know, Trump's going to still be on the ballot, but now here they are trying in Oregon. And so she has received a request and is reviewing it. Nothing more to share at this time.
Wow.
And
Well, if you can't get it done in Oregon, you're not going to get it done anywhere.
Right. You got that right, honest to Pete. So I wanted to, you know, bring that. In fact, I'll copy and paste this one into our
They spread around a little
message.
emoticash and they probably get it done.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, hey, everybody, thanks for hanging with us. Sorry we lost you, Dave, but spread the message, and thanks for hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and thanks for coming and seeing captive audience when it is what do they call this, Black Friday, right? Everybody's supposed to be shopping. I haven't done a thing. Well, no, we have a Rite Aid store in town that is closing.
Wow.
So I went to Rite Aid, and you know, in my little town, we don't have a lot of stores. And so I went there and I got a bunch of stuff that we normally use that I normally get there. And I went, wow, this place, the shelves are almost empty.
Wow. I bought dog food today. That was my Black Friday.
Other than dog food, yeah. You guys have like 3 or 4 of them now, don't you?
I have 3.
3, yeah.
3.
We have one little one. So anyway, hey, thanks for sticking with us and share the message. Sorry we lost you, Dave, but your audio's good.
I'll have to figure it out.
Yep. Okay, have a good night.
Good night, everybody.